Coming up, we're still at the CSUN Assistive Technology Conference, and we're still in the exhibit hall, and I'm spending money, Shaun Preece.
I'm not. Let's go.
This is Double Tap, your daily accessible technology show. We're coming to you from California, USA, for the 40th CSUN Assistive Technology Conference. Here's your hosts, Stephen Scott and Shaun Preece.
Yeah, welcome back to Double Tap. We're here in the CSUN Assistive Technology Conference exhibition hall for day 2 of our show. We've got some great conversations coming up, but we're kicking it off right here at the Be My Eyes booth. We are here with Jørgen Wiberg from Be My Eyes. Hi to you, Joe.
Hello, everyone.
And we've also got Hans Wiberg as well, the founder of Be My Eyes with us. Hey, Hans.
Thank you. Yes, I'm here.
Great to have you back with us. And we've got Shaun Preece, of course. How are you doing, Shaun?
I'm tired, Stephen Scott. But
Are you tired?
Yes.
I'm having a great day. You know, what's amazing so far is that day 1, I spent no money at all.
Yes.
At day 2, no surprise Shaun didn't. But day 2, that's going to change. But we'll talk about that near the end. I want to talk about Be My Eyes. Of course, first off, thank you so much for helping us get out here, supporting us to do that. It means so much to us. What's going on here? What's the news from CSUN, from Be My Eyes?
Well, it's good timing that everyone here is traveling to an event and traveling in the most accessible way possible, because Be My Eyes is announcing 2 new customers that are both first to new industries that Be My Eyes hasn't worked with before. The first is going to be our first airline that Be My Eyes you can get support through the Be My Eyes.
Be My Eyes airline?
We're diversifying our portfolio. We are working with Emirates Air, so based out of Dubai, but you can fly it pretty much anywhere in the world, including in the United States. Now you can connect to a trained customer representative who works for Emirates Airlines, and you can get help booking a flight, navigating an airport, anything involved in that customer experience process. I should say they haven't launched officially yet, but we'll be announcing that here shortly.
And that means that people can get in touch with Emirates, they can actually book flights, they can do all that directly through the Be My Eyes app.
Exactly. Everything you would already do with the phone number, but it's through the convenience of the Be My Eyes platform. And of course you have that video component too, which can help you out in a bind.
Yeah, well, absolutely. If you get that boarding ticket, you need assistance with it, you've got that support there in the airport, but you've also got the chance to book. This is really important stuff, and it just makes the whole experience, I mean, Shaun, you know, right, booking flights. There are some websites that are okay, some are not so okay.
Yeah, the majority of them are terrible.
Are terrible.
Yes. Any help at all is fantastic, and of course the list of partners growing. It's better for everyone, right?
Absolutely. And then in addition to that, we're also announcing our first partnership with our first airport. That's all the way over in Rome, Italy, with the Leonardo da Vinci Airport, International Airport.
And is it being renamed to Be My Eyes Airport?
2 great inventors, Leonardo da Vinci and Jørgen Wiberg.
There you go.
There you go. So same idea, but now you're connecting to someone from that actual airport, and just another way to get the assistance you need in those busy, crazy places that are airports. So those are our big customer announcements for this week. A lot more to come as we get closer, and of course the Double Tap guys will always be the first ones to know on the media front.
Thank you.
That's amazing. Now, Hans, as the founder of Be My Eyes, we've spoken to you a lot, and I've got to say, we've spoken to you a lot over the last couple of days. You must be utterly sick of us asking you questions, so...
I am.
You are? Thanks. Okay. You took me by surprise there.
Honesty here.
So just for the change, I'm going to ask you about CSUN itself. You've had a chance to wander around the many booths here. Has there been anything that's really stood out to you?
Yes, and thank you for asking about something else than Be My Eyes. But at Be My Eyes, we have been looking into navigation like everybody else, and I was looking at Glidance that you have also been talking to a number of times, and that is a super interesting solution they have, but also makes sense. Makes sense is a small device you have in your hand, and then your thumb is being pushed a little bit around, so you can kind of have the right direction, and they have a high precision GPS installed, and I mean, we are all looking for the right solution to navigation, but this is basically the first time I have seen something that I really believe can make a difference and actually take us from A to B. So I'm more optimistic about navigation than I have been in a long time, and there's a number of other solutions around, but these two, including the Danish Navipline, is super interesting, and I have also come to realize that there will not be one solution that fits every blind person. So there will be room for guidance, and there will be room for make sense and so on. So, but it's looking good, I believe. So it's super interesting. So I'm so happy that I've met these guys. So thank you.
Thank you. That's so interesting. I think you're right, though. Yeah, there's been so much focus and attention on Glide, but there are other things here as well that are quite interesting or just as interesting as well, and it's something that may suit other people, right?
Exactly,
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, listen guys, I'm so glad that you were able to join us at the beginning of this episode. We're just about to do our walk around. We're looking forward to it. Listen, there's lots of cool tech on show here at CSUN, but let's be honest about it. There's one thing that a lot of people are talking about, a lot of interest, a lot of bubbling under the surface. Where are Be My Pants? Because a lot of people want to know where Be My Pants is. I thought they'd be on the stall. No merch on this. I think you could be making a fortune.
If you do lose a pair of pants, you can use our app to find them. So some would say it already exists.
That's probably the best PR answer I've heard for a question like that in a while. Right, I'm off before getting myself in trouble. Sean and I are about to go for a wander. Sean, shall we go?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's go.
Thank you for stopping by.
Well, I'm here at the Sony booth, and joining me is Mike Nejat from Sony. How are you?
Very nice, thank you. It was nice meeting you.
You too. And I've got to say, maybe this is unfair, but I am kind of surprised. When I thought of the Sony booth, I thought of TVs and I thought of PlayStation, but there's just so much more here.
Yes, of course. At Sony Electronics, all our services and products must comply with the FCC accessibility mandate.
Yeah.
But at Sony, we go beyond. We try to create products and services that are being used by people of all abilities. So it can be easily used by everyone.
Well, I mentioned TVs. I think that's what a lot of people think of. And you did show me an accessible TV, and of course Sony TVs do have the accessible models as well. And you showed me a Android-powered one there, which was very nice indeed. But I was more interested, as I said, by some of the other things I didn't think of. I mean, firstly, there was Aibo the dog, of course.
Of course, Aibo the dog is our AI dog that is used for emotional support. The AI dog can work with the owner and learn from the interaction more and more and more. And every year, new commands can be downloaded and work as a dog. The good thing about the Aibo dog is that you don't have to feed it, you don't have to take it to the doctor, you don't have to clean after it.
Yeah.
And the good thing about it is also, when it needs to be charged, it goes back to its charging station.
I've got to say, I always thought, I'm not sure you can make an emotional connection with a device, right? A piece of hardware. But it is very likable. I was smoothing it, it was wagging, it was turning its head. There is something very likable about it. So you do see this as a social companion, an actual replacement for a dog where maybe a real dog isn't practical.
Exactly. As you know that in the United States, many Asian community, people live alone, and this can help them to be kind of a emotional support and kind of an interaction that they're missing now.
Yeah, of course. And I suppose a lot of that is down to the software, the intelligence of the dog. Does it feel like it's listening to you? Does it feel like it understands you?
Yes, the more you talk to it, the more that interaction becomes like a sit, high five, or play music. You can do all that stuff for you.
Well, I couldn't get him to sit, but I can't get my own real dog to sit either, so that's fine.
Oh, same with me.
But also we moved on as well, and El Dean showed me some of the work you're doing on accessibility with cameras. And we've got to say, I was shocked. Of course, there are models out there that have a screen reader built in, so you can navigate the menu and things like that. But there was also, he was telling me, a way that laser projecting into the retina.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, tell us more about that.
So, as you may know, that now we are in the age of creators. So we don't want anybody to be left behind. Therefore, we create our cameras that can be used by all people. So you saw the text magnification, you saw text-to-speech, but the QD laser retina is something that if you have retina is not damaged, but the other portion of your eyes, the QD laser device takes a picture, it's like all TVs interlaced, and they project it back of your eyes. So even you have hard time seeing, with using that device, you can easily see, take pictures or take videos. It makes you like any other person.
So is it basically, so let's say you're taking a picture with a camera, it's like the viewfinder is being projected to the retina?
Exactly.
Wow. Of course, that's not going to work for everyone, as you said.
Yes.
You know, if you've got a damaged retina, like me with retinitis pigmentosa, that's not going to work. But for a lot of people, that may make a huge difference.
So yesterday we had this young lady here that she said that she cannot see through her left eyes for a long time. When she used the QD laser, she said, wow, this is something that I have not seen through my left eyes for years.
Yeah.
And she was so excited that she could see through left eyes.
Yeah, that must be so gratifying, right?
Yes.
Now, another thing you showed me as well was the kiosk, and an accessible kiosk for point of sale.
Yes.
Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yes. So we started to participate at CSUN in 2018. And around 2016-17, many of the retailers decided to move away from a person to sell the product to a kiosk that can provide a specification of each device, so people can decide by themselves. They go to, like for example, Best Buy, and they see many TVs, or they see many speakers, and they can go through and do a demo, and they can decide which one to buy. In this case, in 2018, we decided that we need to bring something to the retail space for people who are visually impaired. So in 2018, we started with only Braille, working with Braille Institute, and we brought that to the market. Not to the market, to the show.
Yeah.
Then at that time, we got a lot of good feedback. Then in the year 2019 and so forth, we start adding audio description externally. Anyway, in 2024, we embedded the audio description into each device. On top of that, we seamlessly added the Braille into the description. And in 2024 October, we released that product to 925 Best Buy store. So if the people go to Best Buy store and they want to see and decide on our wireless speakers, they can easily go through and hear the audio description and use the Braille, especially for people with visually impaired.
Yeah, I had a play with it, and it's so easy to use. Now, I don't read Braille anyway, but the buttons on there were, you know, just obvious what they were anyway. The audio description was telling me, you know, what the sound bar or the smart speaker looked like. It was very cool.
Yeah, it's more of a inclusive for everyone.
Yeah,
so we don't want to
absolutely.
make it specifically for visually impaired. We want to create a product or services or even kiosk for people of all abilities to be able to use.
Fantastic. And it wasn't just that. There is so much here. You had the over-the-counter hearing aids, which were so small. I nearly dropped it and lost it. I can only apologize, but absolutely fantastic. And of course, the accessible PlayStation controller for people with motor difficulties. I had to play with that as well, and being able to switch out the keycaps, the button caps, fantastic. People are going to find that so useful. Just quickly circling back to the TVs, because a lot of people ask us this when it comes to accessibility on screen readers. What models of Sony TVs, or generally, how many models have accessibility features?
All models, because that's FCC mandate. So all models have the FCC mandate, but in many cases we go beyond that and create something that can be easily used by people of all abilities that I mentioned.
Fantastic. Mike, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It was nice meeting you.
You too.
Now, normally I hand over to Shaun, or Shaun hands over to me at this point, but actually, do you know what, Shaun?
Yes.
We had to come here together, right? We're just a couple of booths down from where we started at Be My Eyes, and here we are at the Awarewolf Gear stand, and here I am with Blind Dave. How you doing?
Sedona Dave's in the house.
Sedona Dave is
Gentlemen,
here.
welcome to California. So great to have you over here.
Now listen, we've had you on the show already, of course, we've talked to you a number of times on the show, but this is the first time I've actually got my hands on your canes.
Nice.
This is the first time. I'm so pleased, right? Because
Well, that's
I have
why-
been talking about this the whole way
Well,
here.
we both have, and that's why we're both here, because we both
Need canes.
We were fighting over who was going to do this interview, and we're both here.
It's
So, yeah,
amazing
great.
that you haven't even gotten your hands on these canes yet. Well, that's got to change. Let's change that right now.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's get it done.
So, first off, I mean, how's CSUN been for you? What kind of reaction are you getting from people here?
CSUN itself is an amazing opportunity to interface with my community, the blind low vision community. The first 2 years were great. We're announcing and presenting our canes to the public. This year is a little different. Our canes have been out on the streets and on the trails for a year or two. Now we're getting the feedback. I've had the cane for a year. I've been running on it with 6 months. I've been hiking with it. The feedback is coming in, and it's off the rails. I'm so excited that it's meeting and exceeding the expectations of its users. It's keeping them safe and upright. The strength, the extendable grip, it's blowing us all out of the water, and I couldn't be happier. Hearing the people's complaints, the ball tip is scuffed a little bit. Like, if that's what we're complaining about, we're doing good. So I couldn't be happier, guys. I could not be happier about how they're performing on the streets and how they're being received warmly, with appreciation, with it's about time.
Yeah.
I know we're not supposed to lean on our canes, but darn it, it's about time. So
Yeah.
And we all do.
most of us.
I certainly do. Yeah, I know you do. I know. Look, I have to say as well that we've heard some feedback as well. We all get feedback. We get feedback into the show. Some people happy, some people not so happy. What are you doing with that feedback? I mean, obviously you're taking that into consideration for, I guess, Cane 2, the Urban Explorer 2, and so on, right?
Thomas Edison must have been an insomniac. Because I hear people say, this is great, but have you ever thought about introducing a no jab component? Have you ever thought about a carbide tip? Have you ever thought about different colors? And every time they come up with, have you ever thought about, I'm damned to thinking about it. It's like, don't think about purple elephants. What else are you going to think about?
Yeah.
So, of course, every suggestion goes into my brain. Unfortunately, it stays there until I do something with it, roll it around, come up with a solution. But all in all, these ideas are getting us in a better position, perfecting the cane, tweaking it so that I'm supplying what others need. A carbide tip for ice might not be good for ambulating, but for that ice experience, it's very important. We've got the all-terrain cane, a super supportive mobility cane. Let's make it usable for all conditions, ice, snow. I've never stopped inventing or creating or coming up with solutions, problem solving. Really, that's maybe I'm like a savant problem solver and I didn't know it, but that's what's emerging in my world is, how do I tend to the needs of my community?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a thrill. What a thrill.
Yeah.
But at some point, you do get a lot of feedback. At some point, you must say, okay, let's try and think what I am going to carry on to the next one. Because otherwise,
Exactly.
like you say, you'll never stop. So, is there anything? Have you got something in mind, even if you're not sharing it with us today? Have you got something in mind for the next major update?
I do. Constantly working on materials, improving materials, high performance materials. So I am working on Project X,
Oh.
which will be revealed in a few months.
I like that name. It's very good.
Project
X is good.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
so original, right?
Project X.
Agent X.
So I've got the Urban Explorer in my hand right now. You've
Yes.
just given me in my hand. This is a really nice cane. Now, I've heard some people say it's quite heavy. I don't find that. I mean, I've used Ambutech, I've used the Revolution canes, the graphite canes. It's got heft to it, but it's clearly built well. It's built to be battered about, right?
You'll be amazed at what I'm about to tell you about the heft and weight of that. This is an extra large Urban Explorer from 58 to 64 inch, from 56 to 62 inches in length. A 62-inch competitor's cane weighs the same or more. The reason why I believe we're feeling it weigh more or be more hefty is its rigidity. When you swing it, it doesn't have that little flex that a fiberglass cane would have. And because it's rigid, I'm wondering if that is translated into it weighs more. But you put it on a scale, a blind scale, and they weigh the same.
I mean, I'm actually moving it right now as I'm talking, and as I move it from left to right, I roll. I don't do two-point touch, so I roll. I like to roll, Dave. So
roll with it.
It's also a very lazy way of doing it.
Yes.
But as I'm moving, it's feeling that the weight is in the base, which is kind of where I need it to be, because that's what I need to be connected to the ground for feedback.
Right, and it's a really good point, because these dome tips are more or less a solid block of material.
Yeah, these are rollers as well. That's going to surprise me. You'd never experienced that before.
No, exactly. And I've only ever used a roller ball on my cane before, so I was a little bit worried about what the tip was going to be like. But it's very familiar. I feel very comfortable with this dome tip.
It is. It's a smooth running tip, and for the urban experience, where we experience cracks in the sidewalk, cobblestones, the smaller tripping hazards, that dome tip, the shape of the dome tip really does help reduce jab.
It's actually a shame in a way we need this, because the state of our roads, the state of our sidewalks is so bad that we really do need something with more rigidity to it to be able to handle it. It's like, I guess cars are probably built with the shock absorbers and all the things in them so that they don't fall apart when they go over all the potholes.
Exactly, and you're hitting on some really important points of what's needed as far as tips go. What's our condition? I know you've got an awful lot of cobblestone streets over in England. A marshmallow tip on cobblestone streets, it's got to be an epic fail. The cracks are too big. It just won't work. And as much as we want to design the most awesome tips in the world, there are just basics of physics that, this isn't going to fly on this street. So modify the tip, make the tips as lightweight and as effective as possible. But in the end, if this tip is just too small for the terrain, get a bigger tip. Ultimately, we'll dial it in so that we have the right combination of cane and tip to meet our individual needs. And for me, in Sedona, I'm running with an extra large Urban Explorer with a 2-inch rolling ball at the end. Modified hook-style rolling ball. And it's perfect because when Otto, our golden retriever, wants to hike back on our walks instead of the streets, I'm set. I don't have to worry. I don't have the right cane. The Urban Explorer with a ball tip crushes the trails. Just as super strong, supportive, confidence. I don't have to worry if I plant it, if I'm falling over, it's got me. So let's make sure we have the right tips on the right canes, and our lives are livable. Go to the beaches, be successful where we want to be. That's what I'm all about.
Well, it's always good to talk to you. We've talked a few times. It's lovely to meet you in person, Dave.
Indeed.
Finally.
You guys are awesome. So great to meet you in person.
Well, listen, thank you so much. And awarewolfgear.com, yeah?
You are correct. AWAREWOLFGEAR.com.
Fantastic, Dave. Thank you so much.
You guys are crushing it. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
So I'm here with Nathan Deutsch from Lighthouse Tech, and I am wearing a rather special pair of glasses, but they're not smart glasses or anything like that we've talked about in the past. These are actually a mobility aid. Nathan, what can you tell me about these special glasses you've given me here?
Yeah, so when we started out, we're an eyewear industry spin-off. We went to associations, blind associations. We're based in Switzerland, so Switzerland, Italy for the most part. And we were told that one of the interesting uses for something like glasses would be something like a mobility aid. So especially helping avoid collisions in the upper body zone. It's ideally positioned for that. Then the job was make something that's effective but is also attractive. So coming from an eyewear industry pedigree, the challenge was miniaturize and make it attractive, make it look nice.
With that, can you actually describe what these look like then? I've got to say, I am wearing them now and they feel very nice. They're very sturdy feeling. Can you describe them for our viewers and listeners?
Right. So on the front is a very standard eyewear frame component. It's just a framework, a front. There's no electronics in the front, so it's actually interchangeable. You can put different shapes, styles, and colors there. So we'll be launching a line there. You can interchange the lenses. You can go to an optician and get your lenses. The arms operate together, so they synchronize. They contain a miniaturized radar sensor in the front, which is invisible. The advantage of radar is that there's no openings and there's no visible sign that there's a sensor in there.
Right.
And you can waterproof it. So the glasses are sealed and waterproofed. There's a button on top for interaction. It's standalone. So you can change the ranging parameters. You can go for longer ranges for obstacles that are further away. Or for crowded areas, you can shorten the range up so you're not getting so much feedback.
Okay, so there's actually a button on each sort of hinge side, right, on the arms?
Yeah, correct.
Is there one on each side? But do they do different things or?
They're programmed to do exactly the same thing right now. So depending on whether you're right-handed or left-handed, you don't have to reach across your body.
Perfect. Yeah.
And then on the back, there's sort of what we call like a haptic node. So it contains a vibrating motor that pulsates with the distance of the obstacle.
There's something just above each ear that's just slightly protrudes from the arm against the side of your head.
Right.
Is that the vibrating node you're talking about?
That's the one I'm talking about,
Yeah. So we should explain how these work then, I suppose. So, because I mentioned right at the top here, these aren't your regular smart glasses, because when we're talking about smart glasses, we think of the Metas or some sort of VR, with cameras and things like that. But these don't work like that. You mentioned radar, but how do they help us navigate?
So they detect obstacles. They know the distance to the obstacle within a field of view. And because there's two radar sensors, one on each side, they'll give you some directional feedback as well. So
excellent, yeah.
If the obstacle's right in front of you, both sides will give you a signal. If the obstacle's off to the left or the right, you'll get only the left or the right arm vibrating. So that's how we sort of solve the problem of, okay, there's something in front of me, but where? This way you can figure out how to exit a situation using the feel of the vibration on each side.
Yeah, and I have tried these out earlier just for a quick minute, and I've got to say, I was very impressed. So the vibrations are really strong and sort of individual. And when I was talking to you as close as I am to you, it was constant and a fast-paced, strong vibration. And then when I turned my head and turned my direction, it went totally silent, and I knew, okay, there's an empty space, I can walk forward, no obstacles. So, very cool indeed. What made you go with radar over the more traditional, because sonar obstacle detection has been around for years?
Yeah, I think it was the availability of this particular module. Things have evolved, things have gotten smaller and more low-powered over time. So it was a good time to try that technology. We compared sonar, we compared LiDAR. So we did look at other technologies, and this one won out in the end.
Fantastic. Yeah. So what's the battery life on this?
It's going to run for about 5 hours. So you can get to and from your locations throughout the day. We're assuming it's not constant usage. You probably don't want that on all day as an active use. You would?
It's like having a head massage. I quite like it.
I'm glad to hear that. So we did design it to give you enough awareness, especially when you're outdoors and it's busy and noisy. So you did mention strong vibration.
Yeah.
And I would ask you a question actually as well. Strong vibration in a positive or a negative sense as well. I mean, do you?
No, positive.
Okay.
Because, if I'm about to hit something, an obstacle is as close as I was standing to you,
Right.
then I want that, information as quick as possible. But when I did move away and an obstacle was further away, the vibration was very subtle. And I
Yeah.
could easily sort of translate that into a distance. I think it just works really well.
Cool. Okay. Yeah.
So how do these charge?
They charge with magnetic charging ports that are located under the arm. And there's a Y cable that's supplied, and it goes to a standard USB-A charger.
And how long does it take to a full charge?
I believe it's 2 hours.
Right.
It's around 2
And then
hours. so
5
it's done.
hours runtime.
5 hours runtime. I'm not.
Very
I'm not-
nice.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course, the billion-dollar question. I hope that's not the answer. Price.
Price. So the price to the end user is still fluctuating because we're not on the market yet, but we estimate it's going to be in the range of about $1,500.
And availability.
Availability, we are aiming to enter the market in the fall, so fall 2025.
Fantastic. Okay, if people want to find out more, where can they go?
They can go to www.lighthousetech.ch.
Fantastic. Nathan, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Hey, we just want to say thank you to Glidance for supporting our trip here to CSUN, the Assistive Technology Conference for 2025. Glidance, the mobility, it really is the star of the show, Shaun, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. As with every event they go to, there's queues to get hands-on with the Glide device because people are just excited.
When we visited them earlier, honestly, we couldn't get near to them. It was like a fight just for us to get in and just to say hello. But no wonder, because everyone wants to try out this device. It's not a white cane, it's not a guide dog, it's just right in the middle. A whole new category.
Yeah.
Yeah, very exciting. Thank you to Glidance for supporting our trip here and supporting Double Tap coverage of CSUN 2025. Okay, so here I am. I'm at DreamVision Group, and I'm getting hands-on with some very cool tech. Braille technology, to be precise. I am with Damien from DreamVision Group. Lovely to have you on Double Tap, Damien.
Well, thank you so much, Stephen. It is an honor to be on the program.
Well, listen, I'm glad to be here because I finally got hands-on the Activator, which I just love the name. It feels like Terminator to me, right? It's just like so cool name for a Braille display. Yeah, exactly. We'll be back with 40 cells. So tell us about what you've got on show, because I mentioned, of course, the Activator, but that's not the only product you have here.
Right. Well, the Activator is our flagship product, but it is the latest display, latest innovation from Help Tech in Germany. And many people may know the brand HandyTech Braille displays. So their trademarks are curved ergonomic cells that really support a natural hand position while reading. More than that, it's the sensors under the pins that always know where the reader's fingers are, and we call it Braille that follows your fingers, or touch responsive Braille. So the basic thing people may or may not have heard of is you can set them to, when you get to the end of a line, it automatically advances. Mm-hmm. So it's not auto scroll like if you take a phone call and you forget to stop, you come back and you have to rewind and re-find your place.
It's like falling asleep during an audiobook, isn't it?
Absolutely. But this pauses when you pause. It only advances when your finger gets to the end of the line. But that underpinning technology really enables a lot of other things. So on our 80-cell model, the Activator Pro, we introduced something called Active Split, which is different than Split Braille that many JAWS users may be familiar with. It's where you literally can share your 80 cells between two devices at once, and you can choose where the division will be. So you could have half and half, or kind of 60-20, whatever you want. So in this case, I've got the Activator Pro on the left side connected to my laptop running JAWS. On the right side, I've got it connected to my iPad running VoiceOver. And because of those sensors under the pins, all I have to do is touch the left side, and it knows I'm controlling my laptop. And if I use the arrow keys, I navigate. If I type on the QWERTY keyboard, it is in my laptop. And then if I move to the right side, it's boom, everything switches to the iPad, and I can be checking my email or doing a Safari search. And then something they've also introduced called Braille Shot. It's like a screenshot, but you're basically capturing the data that you read on the display, and then you can paste that directly from one device to another. So if I have a session on CSUN and it's like I want to text my friend and say, yeah, go check out this one, I can grab it on the laptop side, paste it into the text, hit send, and boom, we're off and running. So this technology really allows for streamlining of a lot of our daily activities. I mean, it's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, that's incredible. I mean, the fact that when you put your hands on the display, it knows where you are, and the fact that, and you were showing me as the split point, you have the little arrow that pops up telling you, if you want to just be sure that you're typing in the right area, it's pointing. It's like the Braille cell is actually telling you whether it's pointing right or pointing left. That's telling you what device essentially is connected at that time. So you can work on two devices, but you know where you are on the system at all times. The Activator Pro is huge. I mean, it's a big beast of a machine, very heavy. This is a desktop device. You're not going to be taking this about with you.
Yeah, it's the anchor point of your workstation.
Yeah.
You can throw it in a bag and put it over your shoulder and go for a hike, but it's really designed to stay in one place and be like the anchor point of your workday.
And you don't see many Braille displays that have got full-size QWERTY keyboards as well, right?
Yeah,
so
you are not compromising at all. It is a mechanical, old school, full numpad, all your function keys. And I should mention it does have a second row of function keys that are all user programmable. So you can
I love it.
You can, set hotkeys to launch, your favorite browser, if you have multiple screen readers, you can really just customize your workflow there.
Yeah, that's so cool. Give me an idea of cost here of the Activator and the Activator Pro.
So there's 3 models. The 40 cell is $65.95. That's US dollars. The 64 cell model is $10,500, and the Beast, the 80 cell, is $12,700. So these, are investments to be sure.
Yeah.
But it is German engineering. They all come with a 3-year warranty. This company stands by their products, and for those people who make that investment, we do not see a lot of buyer's remorse. I can say that for sure.
Well, I'm just feeling the product today. I just love the curvature of the Braille display. I love the keyboard. It just sounds an incredible piece of kit. It's definitely an investment for sure. Amazing.
One other thing about that the Activator 40, which I would say is our flagship product, it has the 2-in-1 keyboard. So, people check it out. They love those curved cells. They reach up. They have the Perkins keypad, but then it flips open and it converts to a QWERTY keyboard. So that is a 2-in-1 option.
No compromise, right?
Right, where you always have, even if, say, I really have a preference for a QWERTY input.
Yeah, me too.
In most cases, but if I'm proofreading and editing a document, I find it very convenient to be able to just space 4-6 to jump to the end of the line, or L chord to jump to the top of the document. That's a little more efficient than Control Home or End or Home, that kind of thing. But when it comes to like a JAWS command or a Windows thing, it's a lot easier to just Alt F4 to close the document or insert F7 for a links list than to try to remember what is the Braille finger twisting equivalent on my Perkins keyboard.
Just to be clear as well, so the Activator is QWERTY and Perkins keys. The Activator Pro is QWERTY only, correct?
It is a full QWERTY keyboard only, but if with the press of a button, you enable the home row keys, which are marked with F and J, and they're color-coded for people who have the vision, so it's easily distinguishable. But then those home row keys can be used for Braille input. So
Wonderful.
you still have the, maybe, I mean, not the same, switching of a keyboard, but you still have the option to enter the types of commands that you want to enter.
Which in a desktop environment makes total sense. Damien, it's been wonderful talking to you. Thank you so much for
Thank you so
giving
much,
us your time.
Stephen, and look forward to following you on the show.
Excellent, thank you.
Okay, well, I don't think I've seen Stephen this excited so far because we are at the keyboard booths here at LogicKeyboards and with Michelle Melkin. How are you doing, Michelle?
I'm doing great. It's been a really great show so far and a lot of interest and just having a really good time talking to everybody and getting great feedback on our keyboards.
And how are
I
you?
love keyboards. There, I said it. I love keyboards. I'm in a sea of keyboards.
Oh.
I love it. I'm so excited. Yeah, right, what have you got? Come on, tell me, because I have money and I want to spend it. So what am I buying?
He's very excited.
We have the best variety on the market. We have wireless Bluetooth mini keyboards for your iPads. We have regular wired keyboards full size with a great chassis, very durable. We print the keys ourselves, so you're never going to have a challenge with your keys wearing out. We are launching our brand new keyboard at the show this week called the Titan. And the Titan is the first full-size, large print keyboard that's wireless and can also be used with wire.
Okay, look, I know I've got tons of questions, Shaun, but I'm going to let you ask a question because it's only fair.
Well, no, you gave me a really good point. As we were looking around the keyboards here that Michelle was showing us, the Braille keys, you were saying how they could be really useful for sort of almost reinforcing Braille learning and things like that. What feedback have you got to the Braille labeled keycaps?
Yeah, so we've had great response on our Braille keyboards. We have two different Braille keyboards, one with Braille only, and then we have Braille with large print. And so a couple of things about the Braille with large print that we've found is that it's accessible for everyone. So if you've got a desk that other people use, like in a library or a terminal, you can use it if you're sighted or low vision or blind. So that is one of the biggest pieces of feedback that we've heard from folks. And it really, from a Braille standpoint, being the first keyboard and only keyboard in the world that's Braille, we've heard that it just gives our users a lot of confidence in what they're typing.
Yeah, I mean, look, you've got so many different types of keyboards, so many different flavors, Mac, Windows, as you say, the different styles with the backlighting, with the large print, with the Braille, and dyslexia keyboards as well. Explain to people what a dyslexia keyboard is.
Yeah, so a dyslexia keyboard is a great tool that we developed in conjunction with dyslexifont.com. So that keyboard has dyslexia font right on the keys. And then it's color-coded so that from a learning standpoint, it reinforces your vowels versus your consonants. And it has a very soothing color scheme. Makes you feel good and, relax when you're typing.
Fantastic. Well, listen, tell us how you can get hold of it, because you're in the US and Canada, selling across, but of course worldwide as well.
Yep, you can get a hold of us at www.logickeyboard.com.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I'm off to play with the keyboards. Bye-bye.
Calm down.
Bye-bye. All right, guys, I'm here at the Dolphin stand, and I'm here with Mary Jo, or apparently friends call her MJ. Can I call you MJ?
Everybody calls me MJ, but,
but
you can.
Yeah. Sorry, I just wanted to find out if it was a friend or not. Okay,
yeah,
fine.
You are.
You said I had a voice for radio.
Yeah.
And then I said, yes, I also have a face for radio. And then you also said, yeah, I know. I just want to pick up on that. I just want to, We'll remember that. Anyway, listen, let's talk about some great products, because Dolphin is known around the world for brilliant magnification and screen reader products. Let's talk about what you've got on display here.
Supernova is going on, 30 years old, and we have the only magnification, touchscreen magnification in the industry. We find it's really beneficial for students who want to kind of carry a lighter load. They can use a Surface Pro, any kind of a Windows tablet. Our products don't require a lot of computer resources, so they're not, kind of tied to those higher end machines. And so I can just use native gestures on a touch screen to magnify. We've also built in a feature called Connect in View, and we can turn just your average $90 Amazon camera into a high-def video camera with a click. And once I'm magnifying the document or mail or worksheet if you're a student, I can adjust the way that looks on the screen with my fingers or with a keyboard. I can also convert that into a digital file if I need to read that later, or if I'm blind and not low vision. Next, we have what we call the whiteboard feature, and Supernova over a network can connect in a way with an interactive whiteboard, doesn't matter the brand, so that it projects to the student's device, and the students can customize the view of the whiteboard. So this is great in business, in schools, our kids don't have to sit at the front of the room to...
That's what I was thinking. I remember growing up, it was exactly, I had to sit in the front of class, or I had a little monocular that I was looking through and trying to see the board. It's incredible what you can do with this technology now.
Absolutely.
And the other thing I love about Dolphin, and in particular the magnification software, I can no longer use it. I'm a screen reader user now. But at the time when I was using it, it was the only one I could do it across multiple monitors.
Yeah, we not only can you go across multiple monitors an unlimited amount, they don't have to be the same brand, and you can change the preferences on each of the monitors, which I am showing right now. Amazing. So you can customize the look of each magnification, color, whatever. If you're working on two different spreadsheets and you need to understand when you move from one to the other.
Sure.
Great example, yeah.
I want to talk about kiosks, because I did not know you guys were into kiosks.
We are into kiosks. We're into kiosks. So we took our Supernova core technology and created kind of a lighter version called Dolphin Kiosks, and we're showing this today on an image holders kiosk, one of our good partners in the hardware business. And so if you want to just walk this way with me. So here on the screen, currently it's pretty common for kiosks to have what's called a storm navigation pad, and that's the alternate way that someone who's blind can navigate an interactive kiosk screen.
That's a physical keypad, right? Arrows up and down.
It's a physical keypad. Yeah. It has 5 keys and then a standard headphone jack. Someone will plug in the headphone jack. That tells the kiosk, oh, I have someone that needs a screen reader. But for 95% of people with visual impairments, they're not blind, and they don't walk around with headphones in their pocket. So that's where our magnificent magnification comes into play. On a touchscreen, an interactive touchscreen, which a lot of the kiosks are touchscreen active, I can simply use my native gestures again to adjust the size of items on the menu. And I can also employ what's called tap-to-talk technology, and that's for people who are neurodiverse, maybe dyslexic. Could be that people have low literacy skills or don't read that language natively and need to buy a train ticket or whatever, so they can hear those words read to them. We're just trying to cast the widest net of inclusion we possibly can.
Of course. How how are you getting on with take-up of this? Because it's getting adoption in the industry, isn't it? That's the challenge.
Yeah, well, we're later to the game than our competitor, but if you want to visit the next aisle over, our friends at Code Factory, we're doing proof of concept here of Dolphin kiosks working with kind of a generative AI situation where if you've ordered something off of a menu, let's say you go to Burger King and you know that you want a Whopper and you want a Pepsi, right? You still, as a person with a visual impairment, have to arrow through all that to get to the burger. Well, now, with our collaboration, we can say, show me the burgers. Read the screen. So now we're using, voice prompts and screen reading combined to get you to your selections fast.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It sounds like a great piece of work. I mean, you also are known for other products. I mean,
Yeah.
most notably for reading. I use it all the time to read my newspapers in the morning. Easy Reader from Dolphin.
Easy Reader.
Everyone loves Easy Reader.
Our gesture to the world. It's a free app, but we also have a new version specifically built for the education market. So schools were like, well, how do we get all our students signed up for Easy Reader? How do we push the app out? How do we monitor if they're really getting their accommodation and using it? So we've created Easy Reader Premium for Education just for schools. So yeah, we're pretty proud of that.
Making books accessible, making text accessible, brilliant. But there's another product I want to ask you about, which I think is just over. You're going to take me over?
Yeah.
So this is called Guide Connect.
It is.
So tell me about this, because this is a product for, what would you say? This is for the...
I'm going to stand across from you.
Okay.
And we can still,
So this is for the... Well, you tell me the market.
Yeah.
I don't want to offend anyone when I buy...
No. I mean, we're coming to a point where we have a larger and larger aging population.
Yeah.
The boomers are hitting that age, and again, no offense, but sometimes they're a bit tech bashful. They're not digital natives like our Gen Zers.
Yeah.
And so we've tried to create a comfortable experience for them to be able to continue to email, to get on the web, to find and read books. So what we've done is we've taken the most common computing tasks.
There are 14 options.
And we've put them inside of a closed environment so that they just have a list of options they can choose from. Do you want to write an email? Do you want to go to the internet? Do you want to get a newspaper, read a book, or listen to a radio station? So all of those things are inside of a closed environment. They're typically not successful using a screen reader and being out in the wild on the desktop, opening and closing applications. So, and then the icing on the cake is we also created a really cool remote control, which they're way more comfortable with than using like keyboards and stuff. It has a microphone. They can dictate text, and I can move through the menu using if you give me your other hand, a familiar like circle navigation. If you left arrow right now on the wheel, this right arrow.
Right here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Using documents, 2 of 14. Websites, 3 of 14. Scanner and camera, 4 of 14.
That's nice.
Yeah, so
really
it's
nice.
always giving them context as to where they are. They have 14 options. Then they make a selection and they're given the next decision.
Yeah.
Okay, so say you want to send an email. Okay, do you want to send one? Do you want to read your emails? Do you want to go to a draft? So all the decision making is broken up into chunks so that if they ever get lost, they can hit the back button, go to the last decision.
And I know it's kind of aimed in some degree, it has to be aimed at a market, and you are talking about people who are new to tech or perhaps just don't feel comfortable navigating with Windows or Mac. But also I think there's just lots of us who just want to do specific tasks, and we don't necessarily need to go outside of that walled garden. Something like Dolphin Guide Connect is perfect for that. You sell it as a software bundle, but you sell it as hardware as well, correct?
Yeah, we sell it as a software download, a bundle on a tablet, or again, for people that really are not into computing, we have the remote control with a microcomputer that just plugs into any TV that has an HDMI port.
Oh, wow.
And it makes it a smart TV, and it's on their TV, and they're sitting there with this remote control and their little Bluetooth keyboard and mouse. If they want it, they don't have to use it. They can just use the remote, and they're, listening to books or going to their TV presets or emailing their grandson from their couch.
That's incredible.
It's really cool, yeah.
So how can people find out more about these products?
Well, they can visit me at yourdolphin.com. I'm MJ Berry, I'm the VP of Sales, and give me a call.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for coming on to
Thank
Double
you.
Tap.
Thanks for stopping by.
Well, that wraps up the exhibition coverage this week at CSUN. Wow.
I know. I'm exhausted, Stephen Scott. I need a holiday.
My credit card is crying.
Mine isn't.
It's actually turned from blue to red. I don't know how that works. But listen, it's been a wonderful day. It's been a great opportunity to catch up with some cool companies, learning about all of, not just the hardware, because of course we often think the hardware is the driver here, but there's actually a ton of software updates being announced here. And I think back to NV Access, announcing a whole suite of new cool features in their NVDA product. Things you can enjoy them because they're free.
A free NVDA, I love. It is my main screen reader, obviously. But yeah, as you're right, there's so much. As you say, it's not just hardware, there's software as well, there's services. And I've got to say, just meeting some of our own listeners as well here has been absolutely amazing.
I didn't know we had any.
I know, I met him. He was great.
He was a lovely guy, wasn't he? And there was that woman as well. Yeah, everyone's there. So yeah, amazing coverage. And of course, we'll have all of it available on our website, across YouTube as well, and on podcasts. So however you consume Double Tap, you can catch lots more, because listen, we have recorded a lot of stuff we're bringing back. So expect lots and lots of cool conversations about AI and lots more on our podcast YouTube channel and doubletaponair.com as well, all over the coming weeks. A huge thank you to Be My Eyes, a huge thank you to Glidance, and of course our wonderful friends at AMI Audio. Thank you to everyone for helping us get out here and do this. We'll be back over the weekend with another cool show, one extra this week. We don't do that very often.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll do one more, and we'll be wrapping it all up with some of the guys here. But for now, thank you so much to everyone here at CSUN, and we will catch you soon. Thank you, Shaun.
Thank you. Bye-bye.